ICENET. Dynasties live here.
Gerald around the boards to Volek. Hardy moving it on him. And James Patrick comes up with the puck. Got it to the right point off Gary Nyland. Nyland to Volek. And he'll recover outside the blue line. 30 seconds has gone in the Islander power play as LaFontaine steps into the Ranger zone. Pat LaFontaine gets tied up. Good play by Erickson. And now Turcotte comes out one-on-one with Nyland dropping back. Aaron Turcotte holds it, trying to cut to the left side. Killed a little time and then played it back toward the blue line. Andy Moeller shoots it down into the Islander zone. Glenn Healy gives it to LaFontaine on the exchange. Played it away from Mullen. Mullen and Turcotte up front, killing it off for the Rangers. Gary King has come out for the Islanders with Volek. And LaFontaine is the forwards now. David Volek getting it to King, to Volek. Volek trying to move it to the blue line. McBean started in, and the Rangers get a 2-on-1 break. Turcotte is across the line, looks toward Mullen, holds it, centers, off Healy skates, and then it hit the side of the net. Good play by Turcotte to go for the rebound. Back for it, LaFontaine, and out he comes. Three Rangers stretched out at the blue line. LaFontaine carries the puck in. That's LaFontaine, centers to Derek King, and his shot is blocked. King sets up Riki at the blue line, and he can't hold the puck. Rangers moving up smartly. Here's Jody Hull coming right in on Healy. Pad save. Gary King back the other way. Wide open on this power play as the Islanders got caught up ice. LaFontaine gets control of the puck, but it's offside. 6 seconds left in the penalty to Gartner.
Some hustle in the hockey game. That breakaway catches the Islanders' defense core napping. The power play defenseman. Good stop by Healy as Jody Hull broke in all alone. He had options. He didn't use all of them. Turcotte with a beautiful pass. There it is. Right on the money. In behind Wayne McBean. He could have kept skating. You see him start to coast. There's the shot by Jody Hull. And Turcotte with this move, opening up some ice. There's his backhand. Actually, that was to be a pass, and then the puck too far beyond the goal line to get it into the net.
2 shots on goal for the Rangers during the Islander power play. The Rangers have 9 shorthanded goals this season, and the Islanders have seen their power play broken up a dozen times. Now the penalty has expired without a shot on goal for the Islanders. The game tied 1-1 as the puck is dumped in. Richter gets a hit, and there's going to be a penalty. This will draw a crowd. Dakota ran into Richter. Everybody except Richter and Healy ends up in that little corner of the ice.
It's hard to say whether it was one of the Rangers that bounced Mick Dakota into the goaltender. He'll get a penalty anyway just for being there, but could it be called positioning? Mick Dakota races down the ice, runs into Richter. Did he get help? There's Mark Hardy. Has a grip on him. Mick heads in. Looked as though he was going to put the brakes on. I think he intended to make it look that way. He knew Hardy was on top of him. Thought he would get away with one. Get a free shot at the goaltender, possibly.
James Patrick draws a penalty as well. Here's the announcement.
Number 12, Mick Dakota, 2 minutes for interference. And number 9, David Chizowski, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of the penalties, 10:30. That's Patrick of the Rangers, 2 for roughing. Dakota of the Islanders, 2 for interference. Chizowski of the Islanders, 2 for roughing, all at 10:30.
9.5 minutes to play in the period. More concerned is the penalty to Mick Dakota that puts the Islanders a man short. Bernie Nichols is at center ice. Turcotte is on the right side. Gartner is on the left on this Ranger power play. The Islanders have Berg and Wood up front. And it's played around the boards on into the Islanders zone. Cut off by Healy, picked up by Nyland. Around to Bill Berg. Leach pinching in. Ryan Leach and Berg trying to tie up one another. The puck's still loose. Leach got it back toward Gartner, and he puts it behind the net. Healy bumped a little by Bernie Nichols in his pursuit of the puck, and it comes outside the line, controlled by Randy Wood. Nice move on Turcotte. Wood hearing it from the crowd here. Now Gartner moves in. Wood got away from him, ragged it well, gave it to Riki, then to Nyland.
Nice to watch. The Islanders haven't done a lot of that all season long. On an occasion, but not often.
They've killed off 45 seconds in the penalty. And Brian Leach starts from deep in his own zone with a pass to Randy Muller. Slaps it around the boards. Healy blocks it. Then Healy plays it up along the boards. Muller moving in, got checked by Riki. Here's Brent Sutter. Joe Riki takes the puck from him, rings it around the boards and out of the zone. David Volek moves into the center ice area. Takes a hard hit from Turcotte after putting the puck in the Rangers zone. Finishing the check, they'll tell you. Rangers get to center. McBean broke up the rush. Now Brian Leach with it. He's given it to Kissio. 40 seconds left in the power play. Game tied 1-1. That's Leach rushing into the Islander zone. Ludwig poked it away from him, and Healy flipped it back of the net in toward the corner. Ogrodnik to Leach. Looks in front, centers, goes off McDonough. Mullen holds it at the left point. Across to Joe Sorella. Lets the shot go. It's blocked in front. The rebound went off Ludwig as Ogrodnik shot it quickly. Well, Mullen sets up Leach at the blue line. Over to Sorella. Back to Leach. Leach cross ice into the skates. Mullen gave it back to Sorella. His shot went off Fitzgerald, and the Rangers trying to come out of the zone and do. Brian Leach cuts in for a backhander that's blocked. The rebound right on. Healy has it. There's no further play. The red light is on. The washout signal is being given by referee Rob Schick.
He's going to get an argument anyway. The most vociferous is Mullen. He's racing around trying to catch an ear. He's being ignored by the referee. Who's closer to the play? The referee standing on the top of the net. No question about it. The light went on. The referee controls the whistle. Did he blow the whistle before the puck went across the line? Obviously, in his thinking, yes. Watch here as the Rangers move the puck to the front of the net. The light, watch the light up above the cage. Leach with the plate of the net. There's the backhand shot. It stopped. Holding it out in front, trying to hold it out in front. You see the referee, he's saying no goal. There's the light on. That's what the players are looking at. Then the light goes off.
Good positioning by referee Rob Schick, if you're an Islander fan.
Look at the nice move as Leach comes out. There's the backhand shot by Ogrodnik. The players think it's in, and the reason they think it's in is because it's on the body of Glenn Healy, and Healy's laying back in the net. That imaginary line again that runs up to the crossbar from the goal line. They feel that the puck has crossed the plane, to steal a phrase, I suppose, from football.
And this came just as the penalty to Vakota had expired. Vakota had some words with Chris King as he went to the Islander players bench. Quickly, the two linesmen went over there to make sure nothing erupted. The score tied 1-1. David Volek has given the puck to Nyland, ahead to Sutter. When Sutter can't get through center ice, James Patrick had to go off his stick, and the Islanders recover in their own end. This is David Volek. Volek rounds the net and starts through center ice. Fired one up high, but ahead of the play on the right side was Tommy Fitzgerald, and that puts the whole thing offside. 7 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in the opening period. Rob Schick. Now look at Roger Nielsen. His team did not play well. The game at Quebec on Thursday night, they had a lead. Were up 2-0 at one time and lost the game by a score of 4-2. Al Arbor's team shut out in Detroit. Second time in 4 games that they have been shut out.
Ever the teacher, Al Arbor, talking to Brad Delgarno about something he picked up the last time Delgarno was on the ice.
Now the Islanders with Berg, LaFontaine, and Wood. Jody Hull out for the Rangers with Janssens and Erickson. James Patrick dropped it back into Mark Hardy. Patrick Up the middle, it's tipped by Hull, and Randy Wood is back for the Islanders. His pass is through LaFontaine. Rangers get to the Islander zone. Erickson playing it in around the board. Chanel tied up with Jansen, so Healy moved it up the left side, and out comes Pat LaFontaine. He's given it to Randy Wood, who steps over the Ranger line. LaFontaine drives to the net. Wood's pass tipped and just out of the reach of LaFontaine. Back with it is Erickson. Moving in on Ludwig. He's dropped it to Jansen's. Had trouble getting control of it. Bill Berg went to the corner with Erickson, Jansen's, and McBean there as well. What a battle for the puck here. In Jansen skates, kicked out of there to Erickson. He can't come out in front. Now Jansen bustles his way back to the net, runs into the net, is taken down, and Healy diving out covers the puck. But the net had come off the hinges with 6 minutes remaining in the opening period, and the score tied 1-1.
Screen Sport. More sport, more choice. On land, sea, or in the air, Power Sports is where the action is. And this week we've a full report on the classic Monte Carlo Challenge plus Oscar from Calder Park in Australia. Tomorrow at 4 on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice. If their form against Sweden is anything to go by, Czechoslovakia and Finland look evenly matched. See the two clash headlong in the Swedish Cup. International ice hockey at its best. Tuesday night at 10 on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
Every week, we'll show you the important action and goals from all the headline-making matches from Spain in Football Español Highlights. Monday nights at 7:30 on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
Tough sports demand tough equipment. Vic and Victoriaville are the names of the 90s, offering stylish protection for both the pros and the peewees. If you were a top NHL goalie always in the firing line, which stick would you choose? Victoriaville, the choice of those with every option. Join the decade's winning team by contacting your national distributor for details.
Are you a sports fan? Cash in on your sports knowledge and win £100. Call 0898 664 660 and test your knowledge. It's easy to win. That's 0898 664 660. Be a winner and call 0898 664 660. Call now. For Ireland, please call 03 000 122 88.
Stay tuned to Screen Sport for more soccer, more rugby, more motorsport, more snooker, more golf, more tennis, more live action, more guts, more fun, more of what you want to see, more sport, more choice.
It's a penalty to Wayne McBean. Delay of the game. Could have been that referee felt he knocked the goal off its moorings deliberately. There's McBean, number 6. Jansen's trying to get away. McBean has a hold of him. There, the net moves. The stick was caught on Jansen's. Jansen's went up against the stick. You can see the referee pointing. I thought he was pointing for a face-off outside the blue line.
And instead, it's McBean for delay of the game. The third Ranger power play of the period. This one at the 14-minute mark. Brent Sutter over to talk to the referee. Sutter and Volek will be the forwards for the Islanders. Nyland and Riki on defense. Kelly Kissio will step in to take the draw against Brent Sutter. Ogrodnik on the left side, Mullen on the right. Patrick and Leach on the points for the Rangers. Joe Riki plays it around to the left side. David Volek aimed into James Patrick, and the Rangers maintain control. Here's Mullen with a pass toward the corner. Ogrodnik got checked. So Riki moves it up the boards. James Patrick waiting for it. Played it through Mullen, and Riki got it right back to the point where it's held in by Patrick.
That's 3 times, Jake. The Islanders had the puck and didn't get it out of there.
The Rangers control it again. Mullen at the faceoff dot. Shoots. That's wide. Back toward Leach. Leach halfway in along the boards. Gets tangled up with Brent Sutter. Now Riki takes Kelly Kissio and the puck into that pileup. Over comes Volek as well, and it's been frozen long enough for a faceoff. 5 minutes, 24 seconds left in the period as you look at Brian Leach.
Yes, he needs 4 assists. There's Mike Rogers, 65. John Rattel, 63. And, of course, Leach with 62 and counting.
See the years that Rod Gilbert put up 59 and 61, and defenseman Brad Park in the 73-74 season. Yeah, the best of friends.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Brad Park, I remember he said one time about if the defenseman leads the team in scoring, the forwards must stink.
Oh, yeah?
That was the year that John Rattel and Rod Gilbert, they both had kind of off seasons, 73-74, just the same year that was alluded to that he set a team record in assists.
Well, the Rangers here with a man advantage and 1 minute remaining in the penalty time against McBean. Start out of the zone and led by Brian Leach. Leach went to the left side. And Turcotte in pretty good position, but he couldn't hold the puck. It's loose now. Gartner nudged it across. It comes back to the blue line. This is Leach. Giving it to Bernie Nichols. Back to Leach. One times it. That's high and up into the seats. 42 seconds remaining in the Ranger power play.
At times, the Islanders look somewhat disorganized in their penalty killing, particularly in their own end of the ice. That time, defenseman Joe Ricci out at the point position, almost on the doorstep of Brian Leach.
Face-off will be just inside the Islander blue line as you look at Bernie Nichols. Surprised reading the story that Jim Smith had written for Newsday today that Bernie is still talking about the Randy Wood, Bernie Nichols incident. Thought he had let that die. Can't believe that Bernie gets caught up in this stuff.
Well, he probably does it to see if they're going to make anything out of it. Maybe it's something he feels that would be fun to try and do. Players have set writers up before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And writers have set players up, too, haven't they? Berg has shot the puck down the ice.
Well, if he wanted to get him, the last time they played, he had lots of opportunities then.
Rangers come out of the zone with a pass for Brian Leach. Comes in off the right side. Ludwig knocked it away. Leach gets to it again. He's given it to Nichols. Back to the blue line. Turcotte with a drive. That got blocked in front. And is cleared out of there by Randy Wood. He and Bird crisscross. The Islanders play it back into their own zone. They had too many men out, but just briefly, guy was trying to leave the ice. The puck came to that side. The fresh wheels were coming out and stepped off very quickly. And now the teams are at 6 aside once more. 4 minutes, little under 4 minutes remaining in the opening period. Derek King gets into the Ranger zone, dropped the puck to LaFontaine, trying to get around Gartner, shift to the forehand, take him down, and there'll be a penalty against the New York Rangers. The Islanders turn to go to the power play with the score tied 1-1.
Pat LaFontaine can be very creative. Tries to stick handle through the New York Rangers team. Here, look at this. Fighting off a check with one hand, stick in the other, trying to stick handle around a couple of players. Mike Gartner takes the penalty. There's Randy Wood. There's Bernie Nichols. Woo, I guess. A little chop. Suppose if you were going to get somebody, that was the perfect opportunity, and Nichols made an effort.
Boy, there are teams in this league that would be sending that piece of video to the office in Montreal for Mr. Ryan O'Neill's consideration. Oh, there are a lot of teams that go to the videotape regularly and appeal well after games are played. That was well away from the play, as you saw. The Islanders with the man advantage. Sutter has given it to LaFontaine. Back it goes to Nyland, over to Derek King. King pulls it up, shoots it through a crowd. It bounces in front, and Erickson is able to clear it out of there.
That's good coverage by the Rangers, Jiggs. When the Islanders popped the puck in front, 3 Islanders there. All 3 of them were covered and tied up.
Now they'll start the power play inside their own zone with a pass that goes to Brent Sutter. He and LaFontaine crisscross. Sutter across the line. Tried to get it to LaFontaine. It was tipped outside the zone and off Nyland now and up into the seats. At the game today and again tomorrow, the fans asked to bring cans of nutritious food for the fight against hunger here on Long Island. The co-chairman, Gary and Janice Nyland. Fans today, I know, dropped off a lot of food, and if you're coming to see the Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow, we ask that you, too, bring cans of nutritious food for the fight against hunger. The athletes fight against hunger. distributed to the needy here on Long Island.
It's also, people like to know that if they do bring it, it does stay. It stays here on Long Island. It does not go anywhere else.
Many tons have been gathered over the last few seasons, and we hope that you'll participate tomorrow. The Islanders and the Penguins here at 5 o'clock. LaFontaine centers one right across the goal crease. Comes back to McBean. Behind the net to LaFontaine. It's knocked away from him by James Patrick, who's played it outside the line and forcing Wayne McBean to go back. Under a minute remaining in the penalty time against Gartner. The Islanders have had only 3 shots on goal through the period. Rangers have had 11. The score tied 1-1. Here's Volek rushing with the puck. Couldn't get it through to LaFontaine. And again, it's cleared down the ice.
Been well over 10 minutes since the Islanders have had a shot on goal, and they've had a couple of power play opportunities. The last time they had a power play, they were outshot 2-0. The Rangers with some scoring opportunities, shorthanded.
Offside pass called against the Islanders over 2 lines here. They have difficulty getting anything generated. The goal by LaFontaine at the 1:21 mark of the opening period gave the Islanders the lead. Then Gartner came back at 7-11. Both goals on the power play. And that's where we stand. 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the opening period. Matt LaFontaine came into today's game with only 13 shots on goal in his last 8 games. This season, he's averaged 3 shots on goal per game. A year ago, he averaged just a tick under 4 shots on goal per game. Ray Nyland slaps the puck into the Ranger zone. Off the skates of Randy Wood, Jan Eriksson gets it up ahead. Here's Jody Hull, 2 men back. Hull holds the puck, tries to get Nyland turned, moves in deep, is forced around behind the net. Fine job of killing the penalty. Jody Hull offensively now. Got it to Shaw, it's kicked aside. The penalty to Gartner is over. And again, the Islanders do not get a shot on goal with a man advantage. Gary Nyland got LaFontaine to the Ranger line, but no further. Up with it is Bernie Nichols. To Jan Eriksson. Back to Nichols through a crowd. Healy the save, and there's no further play. 1 minute and 17 seconds left in period 1. There's a look at Bernie.
Bernie looking for the top left-hand corner. There was no doubt about it. All you had to do is follow the path of his hockey stick. Here come the Rangers regularly in the Islanders' end. Watch his stick come up quickly after he shoots it. There, rising shot. Healy catches it with the right arm, hangs on. Coming in behind it was Eriksson. See Healy thinking that he had to protect himself. He wasn't sure who it was that was coming in at him. There's the shot by Nichols. A right arm save by Healy, and his straight arm of Eriksson.
Sutter with Berg and Fitzgerald for the Islanders. Nichols out there for the Rangers. They've hit up into the top of the mesh. It's 2-1 Rangers. Over Healy's shoulder with that blast.
Randy Moeller, I believe, from the right point position. First person to know it was Healy, and he didn't look back. He could hear it from the face-off. Take a look. Rangers win the face-off. There's Randy Moeller. He kind of flips it at the net. Was it deflected? I don't think so. And it beat Glenn Healy. He may have been screened. Hard to tell from that angle.
The goal scored at the 18:47 mark. Ray Ferrero gets the Islanders into the Rangers zone with that shot. Bill Berg controls it, shoots, blocked before it got to Richter. Cleared right back to Berg. Over to Fitzgerald to put it on target. A rebound, and Richter is able to make the save there. Held the puck outside the goal post. Gets a face-off. Boy, Nichols took advantage of Fitzgerald. Just flattened him. And you see the ensuing confrontation. It's a different Bernie Nichols, isn't it?
I thought the whistle had blown. Fitzgerald was standing there, and all of a sudden he went over like as if someone had shot him. Of course, the old ploy, sometimes it has happened in the past, players will do that knowing they can knock the guy over, and then they act like they're mad, like they were doing it in retaliation to something. Watch in front of the net. The Islanders with some scoring chances here, some shots from angles. There's 14. Watch Tommy Fitzgerald. Now the play is over. Oh, I see. He tried to knock the puck loose, but look at Fitzgerald isn't looking when Nichols come up behind him and knocked him over.
And Nichols draws 2 minutes for roughing. 19:15 of this opening period. Fourth power play for the Islanders about to unfold. Randy Moeller giving the Rangers the lead on this shot.
There's Randy Moeller. He just flips it to the net. Just keep it going toward the net. At the last second, he was too late. Healy says, didn't see it, not till it was by me. Randy Moeller, his fourth goal of the season, made it 2-1.
Nichols, the only assist, winning the face-off. Now Nichols gets a roughing penalty.
Well, a different lineup for the penalties when you look down the list from what you would generally expect in a hockey game featuring these two teams.
This one for roughing. We've had a delay of the game, hooking, other roughing, some slashing, holding. We've had that fight, of course, with Sutter and King. And we've got another situation here. Ray Ferrero appealing to Rob Schick.
What a bad penalty for Ray Ferrero to take, a holding penalty for the Islanders, trying to climb up a high mountain, trying to beat the first place team in the Patrick division. You're never going to do it unless you play smart hockey. Over on the right side, watch Ferrero. If you're going to grab somebody's stick, maybe you should grab somebody other than the defenseman, Mark Hardy, particularly when you're not near the net. They're a good 20 feet away. Getting caught is the worst thing. Come on, he's saying. You didn't really call that as a penalty for holding.
Been a busy first period for referee Rob Schick. The disallowed goal, a whole bunch of penalties. The Rangers lead 2-1. The teams are at 5 aside, including the goaltenders. Turcotte will face off against LaFontaine. Volek, the other forward. Ricci and Ludwig on defense for the Islanders. Eriksson is the other forward for the Rangers, with Hardy and Patrick. And then back. Hardy has given it to Patrick. Turcotte got it in from outside the line. It bounces around behind the net. Eriksson and Volek go to the corner together, and there's Joe Ricci trying to dig it loose. Over to help is Turcotte. The puck comes outside the Islander line. Chasing it back is Patrick. 10 seconds remaining in the opening period. Jimmy McDonough guest with Stan Fischler in our upcoming intermission. The puck off the skates of Eriksson in center. Ricci gets to it. Plays it up ahead, and that'll do it for an interesting opening period.
Pretty good hockey in some areas. There's one of the goal scorers of the period, LaFontaine with his 38th, Mike Gartner with his 39th, and Randy Moeller, the other goal for the New York Rangers, his 4th. A lot of penalties, a lot of interruptions, a lot of offsides, a lot of face-offs.
And Bernie Nichols in on both Ranger goals. We're at the end of the opening period at the Nassau Coliseum with your score, the Rangers 2 and the Islanders 1.
Screen Sport, more choice.
Screen Sport Friday. Basketball fans in Utah have waited patiently for the Jazz to call the tune, and the way they're playing, 1991 could be their year. But Boston has a long and proud tradition in the NBA, and they're not about to make way for the upstarts of Utah. The tip-off's at 6 o'clock. 2 hours later, Go covers the Zaire Rally, the Dutch Motocross Nationals, and road bike racing. At 9, we're doing a bit of trading punches, that is, as US Pro Boxing brings you the bouts that make headlines in the home of the fight game. We keep our regular appointment with the NHL at 10:30, bringing you the week's most important clash. And at midnight, we're stepping back into the ring for another European Championship fight, this time in the Cruiserweight division. So, with the NBA Shakedown at 6, Motorsport Go Style at 8, boxing from the USA an hour later, and another NHL Crunch match at 10:30, that's knockout action coming your way Friday on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
Every day on Screen Sport, we suggest you put down what you're doing, take a deep breath, and simply... action. Drama. Sport at its most entertaining. Stop every day on Screen Sport. Next stop, 5 this evening.
Every weekend, Screen Sport goes Weekend Live.
And this Weekend Live, ice hockey. IMSA's 12 hours at Sebring. NASCAR's Quality Parts 500 and days 3 and 4 from the Nestle Invitational.
Weekend Live.
This is a special record offer, only available by phone, so please be ready with pen and paper. Classic Rock Classics has over 50 of the greatest rock tracks performed by the London Symphony Orchestra. Classic Rock Classics contains over 4 hours of powerful music, available on either 5 albums, 5 cassettes, or 5 compact discs. On Classic Rock Classics, the London Symphony Orchestra perform music from the world's greatest songwriters. Experience the power of Classic Rock Classics. Order this unique presentation set by phoning one of the following numbers now. This offer comes with its own money-back guarantee, and please allow 21 days for delivery.
Well, in an effort to determine the percentage of the crowd cheering for the Islanders and the percentage cheering for the Rangers, we thought what we would do is let you listen to each of the first 2 goals of the game. The first by the Islanders, the second by the Rangers, and you determine how many fans there are supporting the Islanders. LaFontaine's goal first. Okay, how about the goal by Mike Gartner? Pretty close.
Yes, it is pretty close.
And
may have to give a little bit of an edge to Pat LaFontaine's. One was expected, one was not expected, so that might make the difference.
Okay, the second period is underway with the teams each a man short, and there's Gartner with a drive that just missed Healy. LaFontaine couldn't knock it away from Leach covering the blue line, and Bill Berg gets bumped in the corner. Gartner was right on him. Ludwig has cleared it out, and Brian Leach feeds it back. This is Darren Turcotte. Played it to the right wing boards. James Patrick round behind the net, trying to wrap around. It comes through to the right side. Turcotte tees it up off Patrick's stick. It's recovered by Pat LaFontaine. He's over the Ranger line on right wing. Dropped it for Craig Ludwig. A big drive hit the outside of the net. Ludwig pinching in, puts it behind the Ranger goal, but Patrick is there for it. He's played it through LaFontaine. Now Derek King comes in after it. King to LaFontaine. Ricky backing through in front of the net. LaFontaine unable to get the puck to him in time. Good job here by Leach tying up LaFontaine. Now Derek King steps in. In 20 seconds, the Rangers get a man advantage. The puck has been shot down the ice by the Rangers. Ricky touches up, and there's an icing call.
Important thing for the Islanders, Jake, just down by 1 in their own building or at any time, is to not change what they're doing. One thing they could change, though, I'll correct myself, is to get a little more offense going, some shots on goal. Plus minus, plus 12. That's dropped a little bit lately.
Somebody's got to get the game even here before Joe has any chance of getting the game winner today against Kelly Kessio's Rangers.
Well, we got a lot of time to go. The Islanders, with a flurry, they had a power play just before Ray Ferrero nullified it. They got 3 quick shots on goal, all in at one point on the power play, and ended up with 6 at the end of the period. But for, I'd say, 17 minutes, 16 and change, they did not get a shot on goal.
Some discussion here about the amount of time remaining in the penalties. Nichols went off at 19:15, Ferrero at 19:25. So when Bernie Nichols' roughing penalty expires, the Rangers will have a 10-second man advantage. King gets the puck back to Ricky for a shot. That went off Brian Mullen and is taken out of the goal mouth by Sutter. Brent Sutter turns, shoots one through a screen and wide. Nichols is back on the ice. Baumgartner puts the puck behind the Ranger net. Mike Richter moved it around the boards and went off Derek King to Brent Sutter and actually hit the referee. And now Sutter has it pinned on the boards. And the teams are at 6 aside again. Sutter and Nichols in a battle for it. Brent Sutter turns on Bernie Nichols. Comes off the boards, dragged the puck, got it back on his stick. Nichols in front of him. Now Derek King can't get it away. Delgarno did. It's blocked and covered by Richter.
Testimony to his very good reflexes. Mike Richter, with a fast-moving hand, was able to stop the puck from close in. A broken play, a loose puck, a quick chopping backhand. What a job by Sutter to break it loose. There's Derek King, has it poked away. There's Brad Delgarno. Look at the move. Late as it might have been, Richter was still able to get a piece of it. Keep it from getting in behind him.
The Islanders have never beaten Mike Richter. Regular season, a win, no losses, 2 ties put up by that goaltender, and a 1.60 goals against in games against the Islanders regular season.
He's still eligible for Rookie of the Year as well.
It's into today's game, trying to win his 20th game of the season. Ferrero wins the draw, got away from Chenault. Racing up after it is Ogrodnik, but Nyland gets back. Ray Nyland bangs it off the boards. Tommy Fitzgerald's pass picked off. Now it goes to Dean Chenault. Chenault to Nyland to Ferrero. Ferrero's pass blocked by Nichols. Ogrodnik has it again. Tried the left side for Hull, and that was broken up. Now Nichols brings it over the line. He's given to Ogrodnik, and his shot is deflected by Chenault and ends up in the seats. One more meeting this season between the Islanders and the Rangers. That's at Madison Square Garden on Sunday, March 24th.
Yeah, I was talking to John Ogrodnik in our pregame show, asking about his contract. He's got 31 goals. If he gets 35, they add an extra year on his contract. He signed a contract for 1+1. What that means is there's an automatic clause in every player's contract for an option year, unless you write it out of the contract. That would be a termination contract, but he gets another year if he gets 35 goals.
Who's going to get that? No doubt about it. Nichols knocks the puck loose in the Islander zone, got it back to the point. Bowler around to Jody Hull. Nyland stepped into him, and Fitzgerald gets it to the blue line. It's held in here. Joe Cirella laying it around the boards. It's picked up by Chenault. Rangers leading 2-1. David Volek's pass went to Ferrero, now to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald to Ray Ferrero. Cuts in off left wing. Right into Fitzgerald. He scores!
Boy, you gotta love it. Some great individual performances. The Islanders start out with a 2-on-1. Bernie Nichols catches up to make it 2-on-2. And Ray Ferrero performs some magic. There's the drop pass. Ferrero faked out, went around Cirella, and then he faked one way and with a little tapping backhand beat Mike Richter. What a pretty goal by Ray Ferrero using Fitzgerald, who had dropped him the puck, as a decoy. Here he faked and throws the defenseman Joe Cirella. Then with Nichols back trying to protect a pass to Fitzgerald, Ferrero taps in a light backhander.
21 goals on the season for Ray Ferrero. Game tied 2-2. Here's Troy Millette. Millette over center ice, on into the Islanders zone. Puck goes to Jansen's on left wing. Domi had been knocked down. There's going to be a penalty against the Islanders. Nick Vakota is going to get the gate. He got too close to Ty Domi for the liking of referee Rob Chick. So the Rangers back to the power play with the score tied 2-2.
Now watch number 12. There's Vakota. There's the stick in the feet. I don't know what makes a guy think he's going to get away with that. He's so close to the puck that everybody in the building, including the referee, has to have their eyes in that general direction.
Short shift for Ty because the power play comes out here. He did his job getting the Rangers an extra man. Patrick gets the puck back to Leach. Ryan Leach fires one toward the net that was steered wide on a deflection from Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik cuts through in front. Now Kissio moves through the front of the goal. They get the puck toward Ogrodnik, but he couldn't pick it up. Kelly Kissio and Brent Sutter battling for it. Brian Leach gets knocked down by Riki. Here's Ogrodnik. Riki right on him, takes him to the boards heavily. Ryan Leach puts it out in front. That's blocked. Ogrodnik's shot is deflected wide of the net. Patrick on the right point shoots one off Healy, and it ends up back in the goal. Healy had the stick knocked out of his hands, I believe, and the referee appears to be indicating that the net is off, and that's the reason for the play stopping.
Actually, what happened, Jags, that Healy swung his stick so hard around behind the net, the force of the stick and him up against the net popped it off the moorings. Let's watch. Healy must be mad for him to swing the stick that hard. Here's a shot coming through. Look at the screen. Then all of a sudden it opens up. A tip. He gets a bit of it. Behind the net. Mullet there. You see him swing his stick? The net is off the mooring, and you'll see You'll see all of the players slow down and stop as the whistle blew.
Face-off is to Healy's right. There's the positioning. Ogrodnik on the edge of the circle on the left side. Mullen is on the right side of Kissio. Patrick moved in as well. Patrick gets it back to Leach. In along the boards to Kelly Kissio. Puts it behind the net. McBean can't get to it. It comes back toward Patrick. Now to Leach. Leach fires one. Tipped wide as it hit Ludwig. This is Kelly Kissio trying to set something up. Back it goes to Leach. Once more to Kissio. Takes. Gave it to Brian Leach. Now to Kissio. Things open up as he shoots. It's blocked by Ludwig. And another penalty call. Mullen had been knocked down in front of the net, and McBean is drawing a cross-checking penalty. A two-man advantage coming up for the New York Rangers.
After a good move by Craig Ludwig, he got down early enough that if the puck was rising over him, it would give Healy a chance to see it. But off to the other side of the net, Wayne McBean with a cross-check, a chopping check on the forward, the Ranger forward. Puts his team in a tough position. 56 seconds remaining on Mick Vicota's penalty. McBean will join him.
Up against the best power play in the league. Al Arbor with Riki, Sutter, and McDonough out there.
Over on the right side of the frame there from behind. You see it's kind of a chopping push. He got him up a little too high, tipped him over. The Islanders, who had just tied the score on a beautiful play, Tommy Fitzgerald to Ferrero, now have a lot of work cut out for themselves.
Sutter has left the ice. It's McDonough on the draw, and the Rangers get the puck back to Leach. Patrick and Leach playing catch. James Patrick fed it in deep. Nichols centers it across. It'll come back toward the blue line. This is Leach. Once more for James Patrick. To Brian Leach. Leach to Bernie Nichols, cross ice. There's Patrick. He shoots, blocked in front. The Rangers come out with it. Oh, and it's deflected wide on Turcotte's shot. Now back to Leach. Leach to Turcotte. He shoots. He scores.
The delayed penalty in action. Ludwig started to the referee, then stopped. His arm went up in the air for another penalty. It must have been on the Islanders. He did not wave the goal off. Take a look. The Islanders down two men. Leach takes the pass from back of the net to the side of the net. James Patrick whistles it. It's in. The referee had his arm in the air. You can see Gartner getting up. That could be the penalty. Riki had decked Gartner, and the Islanders were about to get their third penalty in a row when the Rangers scored.
Aaron Turcotte getting the goal and upsetting the Islander coaching staff. Darcy Regeard and Al Arbor have both been yelling at the officials here.
Al Arbor trying to temper Darcy Regeard. He does not show that much emotion generally in his coaching.
The goal coming with the Islanders two men short. Vicota's penalty now is knocked off, and McBean sits out the balance of his call. Turcotte puts it back of the Islander net. Rangers up 3-2. Tied up on the far side of the ice. Randy Wood trying to play it through Turcotte. Now he goes the other direction. The stick knocked out of his hands. Wood trying to cover the puck. Now hand passes it out of there. Comes back toward him. Riki picks up his check. And Bernie Nichols plays the puck to the side of the goal and right to Randy Wood. Down the ice it goes. Leach and Nichols assisted on that goal by Turcotte. So Nichols with 3 assists here this afternoon, or this evening as it is now. The Rangers into the Islander zone, led by Bernie Nichols. Feeds it back to Leach. Once more for Nichols. Cross ice. That's Moeller at the right point. In along the boards. Turcotte shoots from the blue line. Blocked in front of the net, hitting Chenauth, and David Volek frees it up. The pass just out of the reach of Sutter. Now 27 seconds, all that's left in the penalty time to Wayne McBean. This is Moeller. His pass broken up by McDonough. Doobie McDonough giving it to Gary Nyland, and the Rangers have to chase it again. 10 seconds, as you see. Time remaining in the Ranger power play. They're up through the middle. Mullen is across the line, shoots one that was blocked by Chenauth. Comes back to Moeller. His pass is behind Kissio. Turns, lets it go, and Healy makes the save. Dean Chanel draws a couple of Rangers. Kissio picks up a loose puck. The wraparound backhander turned aside. Aims at 6 aside as Nyland feeds McDonough. McBean had pulled up at the blue line, and the Rangers are able to move out. Ogrodnik with a cross-ice pass. Through center ice is Mullen. Now to Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik shoots. Stick saved by Healy, and Derek King clears it out towards center ice. Moeller crossing over. Fitzgerald gets it into the Ranger zone, then got tripped up. Andy Moeller with a pass here to Mullen. Mullen into the Islander zone. Headed toward the corner. Riki checks Ogrodnik, and LaFontaine rounds the Islander net and starts out. Played it out through center ice. Back on it is Sorella. Joe Sorella forcing the Islanders back. Healy will leave it behind the net for Riki. The Islanders trying to come out here, led by LaFontaine after Hull had gone into forecheck. LaFontaine over the Ranger line. Puck knocked off his stick. John Erickson and Derek King get tied up. Delgarno is there as well for the Islanders. Comes toward the blue line, and Riki got to it. Now he's going to complain. He has the play nullified with an offside call that didn't please him at all. The score, the Rangers 3, the Islanders 2.
Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
Get up and go. Motorsport. Go for it. Excitement. Here we go. Entertainment. Go today and every Friday on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
Certainly the most controversial football in the world. Still immensely talented. Capture the excitement of the Premier League matches throughout the season. Argentina football today at 4 on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
The Indy cars are set to thunder in the land down under in the first event held outside North America. It's caused consternation, it's caused controversy, and it could cause a major shake-up to the world of IndyCar. The Gold Coast IndyCar Grand Prix. On Thursday evening at 6 on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
This Saturday night, by popular demand, your own personal video jukebox will start playing your choice at the earlier time of 10 through till 5 a.m. on Lifestyle. Music videos by request on the UK's only totally interactive satellite music channel. To make your selection, ring 0839 65 65 65. Lifestyle Satellite Jukebox, the channel where you call the tune.
Trying to tighten that tummy, struggling with ordinary sit-ups? Now work smarter with the Abdominizer, the intelligent alternative to sit-ups. Look, the Abdominizer targets the proper abdominal muscles, so each and every sit-up is made more effective. You can have a tonier tummy in weeks. Best of all, it's so simple. The unique rocker mechanism lets you rock your way to a firmer stomach. Look, ordinary sit-ups can torture your tailbone. It's not worth the pain.
I designed the Abdominizer to produce an automatic pelvic tilt, which helps to isolate the abdominal muscles and makes the exercise better for your lower back.
The curl works upper abdominals. Raise your knees and tighten lower abdominals too. The Abdominizer from only $14.95. The intelligent alternative to sit-ups. Get smart. Call now. Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, France, Greece, Germany, Holland, Ireland, Norway, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and the UK.
Screen Sport. More sport, more choice, more
Face off at the Ranger line. Midway through the second period, it's the New York Rangers 3, the New York Islanders 2, as Vakota gets to a loose puck in the Ranger end. Nick Vakota trying to thread the needle. Millette broke up that pass. Back on it is Riki, out to Derek King. King turning on Janssens, is forced back. King, Sutter, and Vakota, the Islander forward line. Nick Vakota goes cross ice. David Shaw clearing it for the Rangers. Millette Got it loose, and Ty Domi dumps it down into the Islander zone. Lakota caught him with his shoulder. Ty, who's had 3 shots on goal this season, didn't have a shot in the first period. Now he's overpawing at Lakota here on the right side, moves away from him. Funny how all the concentration is on those two when they're out on the ice. Puck played down into the Islander zone.
Almost get the feeling that Domi wants to go with Vakota, and Vakota wants to try and be a hockey player.
Nick just frees up the puck here. Derek King walks in on goal. He scores!
Given an assist to Mick Vakota, whether he gets one for real or not, but he deserves it. You remember it was Ty Domi that created the problem for the Islanders when Vakota took the penalty the last time they were on the ice together. This time, Mick Vakota stayed away from him. There's Mick. He makes contact with the puck, so possibly will get an assist anyway. There's the shot, yes. That beat Richter. It hit him on the catch or on the blocking glove and deflected behind him. It's a tie score at 3-3. Derek King's 18th goal of the season.
The goal at the 10:57 mark. Like Ed said, you can credit Vakota by a couple of counts. Keeping his cool, making the hit, freeing up the puck.
And actually the puck went off his skate, so it did touch him, so he's legitimately should get an assist.
Derek King has tied the game, and Ferrero is over the Ranger line with a pass to Fitzgerald, and his shot is deflected high. Ends up on the far boards. Kelly Kissio had it cut off by Vakota. Fitzgerald will get to it. Checked and turned by Ogrodnik, and the Rangers play it out through center off Mullen's skates. Ludwig back with a feed off Ferrero to Fitzgerald, down to Ferrero. Left side to David Volek, puts one on goal, and the rebound. It's at the side of the net. They had Richter backed in, but the puck stayed on the outside of the goal. Randy Moeller moves up through the middle. Into the Islander zone, pulling to the left side. He slaps it around to the far wing. That's John Ogrodnik waiting for it. And down to Mullen. Ferrero on him. Mullen trying to slip away from the check. Has given it to Kitsio for a shot, and Healy got a piece of that. Diving to clear the zone is Fitzgerald. Game brand new at 3-3. Fitzgerald fires the puck down into the Ranger zone. That's going to be an icing call. Just under 8 minutes to play in the second period at the Nassau Coliseum with the score tied 3-3.
Remember how Al Arbor and Darcy Regier were mad at the referee? Maybe he was listening. Watch here as Sutter gets the stick, hooks Kissio, pulls him off the puck and takes him down. Kissio gets back up, goes to the corner. Watch the head of Baumgartner. What an elbow! And guess who's the closest person to that action? The referee standing just out of your picture to the left. Baumgartner's incensed. He doesn't want to take a penalty. Good for you, Ken Baumgartner. No retaliation, but wow, what a couple of penalties that he let go after some of the ones that he's called in this hockey game.
Rob Schick called 12 penalties in the first period. He's called 2 here in the second. And the 2 that he called put the Islanders 2 men short for a span of 56 seconds. Led to the Rangers taking the lead, only to have Derek King come back and tie it 3-3. We have just over 5 minutes to play in the second period. If you've just joined us, the way the game has gone, the Islanders opened it up on a power play in the first period. LaFontaine scored. Then Gartner scored on a power play. It was 1-1 until 18:47 of the first, when the Rangers got the lead at 2-1. Ferrero tied it up just before the 3-minute mark of this period. Since then, Turcotte with a power play goal, regaining the lead. And Derek King came back to tie it for the Islanders just before the 11-minute mark. So 3-3 is the score. The face-off in the Ranger end. LaFontaine and Turcotte on the draw. It's won by the Islanders, and Berg has put it back in the net. Quite a play by Sorella to keep LaFontaine away from it. Berg trying to go back in the net. Randy Moeller back into him. Turcotte is there as well. It's dug out of there by Randy Wood. Wood gets turned around with Moeller. Wood with his head down is bumped heavily by King, and Wood is slow getting back to his skates. Now referee Rob Schick got tripped up. Wood has been dazed. He is headed for the Islander players bench and is replaced by Mick Vakota. Meantime, LaFontaine with a hit on Sorella after he put the puck in the Islander zone, and here's Vakota. He gets hammered by King. The puck ends up on Turcotte's stick. Aaron Turcotte centers. Knocked down in front as Dylan got a piece of Gartner. Play called here, and we'll get a face-off in the Islander end of the ice.
Just like everybody else, you keep waiting for something to erupt, something to explode with Vakota on the ice. Along with Chris King. Nick seems preoccupied. He seems to be into trying to improve the Islanders' position, which is tied right now. Here's Randy Wood. He's got his head down. He's trying to control the puck. Coming over, spotting him with the head down, is King. Boom. Head, shoulders, elbow, wraps Randy Wood into the boards.
Trainer Ed Taberski is attending to Wood at the Islander bench as we watch the face-off in the Islander zone. Jimmy McDonough pulling the puck back. It's nudged ahead by Riki to Vakota. He's backed it off the boards, and James Patrick reached back. Out and away before David Chizowski could get to him. Riki back into the Islander zone, tries the left side. Chizowski has cleared the territory, and Hardy drops back. Just a little more than 4 minutes to play as the puck is stolen by McDonough. Drops it to Vakota. Nick Vakota with a shot. That's blocked at the defense. Rangers trying to play it around the boards. It's held in by McBean. His pass ends up on the open side of the ice, and Hardy has cleared it out. Riki puts it back in the Rangers zone. Vakota gets the play back on side as Hardy turns at the blue line. Mark Hardy trying to get away from McDonough as he comes to the Islanders line. Across the line, a backhand shot. Healy the save, and Riki fishes the rebound to the right wing for Vakota, and out it goes.
Did you get the same feeling I just did? That looked like Carl Brewer skating up the ice. Mark Hardy. Beautiful fake, some nice moves.
Al Leach with the pass to Millette. He's into the Islander zone. Jansen's drives to the front of the net. Millette's pass is turned over, and McDonough has cleared it out. Rangers have been able to complete their player change. Mick Vakota dumps it in here, and the Islanders will go for a change. David Shaw, the long pass picked off by Volek, steps over the Ranger line on right wing. He shoots one, pad save. Fitzgerald on the rebound, and he knocked it wide of the net. Tommy Fitzgerald pulls it away from Shaw. Drops it in deeper for Ferrero. Down to David Volek, cross-ice pass, and Fitzgerald couldn't get a stick on it. There's Bertie Nichols for the Rangers, out to Troy Millette. Millette slaps it around the boards. Comes to Dean Chenoweth. Played it away from Gartner. David Volek drops it back a little deeper in his own zone. Gary Nyland able to recover now after having poked it away from Gartner. Rangers set up again at center ice. Mike Gartner, after handling Leach's pass, dropped it back. Here's Randy Mueller to Brian Leach. To Jan Eriksson. Bertie Nichols off the left side with that pass, and Mueller couldn't do anything with it. The Islander defense tightens up, and Brent Sutter moves out on the right side. Sutter over the Ranger line. Fitzgerald trying to go to the net. Sutter gets taken off the puck by the check of Leach. And here's Mueller with just a little more than 2 minutes to go in the second period. Up ahead now. Leach across the Islander line. 3 men back. Leach can't cut in on Baumgartner. Nichols did, and he shot it wide. Baumgartner raise it up for Derek King. He's able to clear the zone. Dalgarno runs into Mueller. And back for the New York Rangers is Brian Mullen. He's given it to Mueller. To Eriksson. Eriksson in front of the Islander bench is met by Derek King, and Baumgartner clears the puck at the Islander blue line. Mueller plays it up the boards again. Mullen and Baumgartner collide. This is Odrodnik with Sutter taking him off the puck. Derek King starts out for the Islanders. They've got a breakaway. King coming in on goal with Dalgarno trailing. King to the backhand. He scores!
The name of the game is mistakes, and the New York Rangers made a very big one, and Derek King took advantage. The Rangers get caught changing. They were cheating, trying to get off the ice. Here's the play, just down to the right of the Ranger bench. Derek King picks off a puck. There's nobody between he and Mike Richter. Watch between the legs of the goaltender. King can handle the puck. He's been so much more confident the last few months. And he beat Richter between the feet as Derek King, with his second goal of the hockey game, gives the Islanders a 1-0 lead. Pretty play by Derek King. It's a 1-goal lead for the Islanders, first time in the hockey game.
They were down 2-1 at the end of the first period. found themselves in a 2-2 tie, then trailed 3-2, and have come back to take the lead at 4-3, and they're into the Ranger zone, but offside is called. A minute and 8 seconds left in the second period.
Again, something you do not see too often. 120 feet of free ice. Derek King picked up the puck. He looked twice to try and figure out who he should pass to. He couldn't see anybody from either team, so he raced the length of the ice and put it in.
And Delgado coming up with him. I don't know, last time I've seen a 2 on the goaltender type breakaway. King completing it, giving him 18 goals on the season, 19, excuse me. We're into the final minute of the second period. Nyland playing it off the boards. It's held. Turcotte trying to come out of the corner. Nyland knocked it away from him. Bill Bird moves over and has cleared it away from Gartner. This will result in an icing call against the Islanders as Hardy went back to touch up. The Rangers are chartering right after the game tonight. They go to Chicago to face the Blackhawks tomorrow night.
Something we used to see regularly here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, a packed house.
It's nice to see it again. The Islanders and the Rangers. One more meeting. That's at Madison Square Garden. Roger Nielsen's team down by a goal after having led 2-1 at the end of the first period.
One game is all they've been able to win in their last 8 road games. Rangers, last 10 games, they're 4 wins, 3 losses, and 3 ties.
So much speculation as to where they're going to go in the playoffs with the addition this week of Joey Kocur from the Detroit Red Wings. Kocur not in the game. Hit in the game in Quebec, had trouble breathing, and x-rays negative, no breaks, nothing of that nature, just a bronchial condition that they're going to treat. Gartner got it to Turcotte. He turns, comes off the far side, centered one. Gartner couldn't get it teed up. O'Reilly plays it up the boards and out of the zone. That's going to do it for the second period.
Tell by the noise, the fans are enjoying it. Well, I should say about half. Our noise meter fed us some information. Ray Ferraro, one of the goal scorers of the second period. Turcotte, King got a pair of them.
Only 2 penalties called in the period. That led to a power play goal for the Rangers that seemed to get them comfortable, but back come the Islanders, and at the end of 2, the score, the New York Islanders 4, the New York Rangers 3.
Screen Sport, more choice.
The Patrick division's alight with Pittsburgh challenging the New York Rangers at the top of the table. But Quebec are propping up the Adams division without a hope of a playoff berth. Will it be gloom and doom for the Nordiques, or can they topple the Penguins? Find out Weekend Live tomorrow at 6:35, only on Screen Sport, more choice. The third race of this year's IMSA GTP Series is America's oldest endurance race. See the 12 hours of Sebring. Weekend Live, starting tomorrow afternoon at 3 on Screen Sport, more choice.
Women's top rivals and brightest newcomers come together in Hilton Head, South Carolina to contest the 19th annual Family Circle Cup, one of the leading events in women's tennis. Will it be won by an old favorite or a rising star? Find out Weekend Live with the semis on Saturday, April 6th and the final on Sunday the 7th on Screen Sport. The Big Two of French Rugby League settle down to thrash it out. Tres Catalans are competition leaders and doing it in fine style. Saint-Gaudens feel they have the answer with their uncompromising style. They won't be fooling around Monday the 1st of April on Screen Sport, more choice.
Has this ever happened to you? What a mess. This shirt and blouse have had it. Or have they? Now, there's a simple way to deal with the most difficult stains. DD7. A super concentrated formula that removes stains but won't harm fabrics. Now where's the ink? Delicate silk, incredibly clean. Tar, iodine, blood, rust. DD7 gets rid of them all. Dull granite curtains restored to a light new whiteness thanks to a soak in DD7. Imagine this is your washing machine. Dye from a red sock, ink, iodine. A little DD7 and goodbye to unwanted stains. Order DD7 today from only $6.95. Or we'll double your order for only £3 more. That's 2 tubes from only $9.95. Call your local number on screen now. Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, France, Greece, Germany, Holland, Ireland, Norway, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and the UK.
Mike Richter had given up only 4 goals in the previous 2 games against the Islanders. He gave up 4 goals over 2 periods, and Roger Nielsen is giving him the hook. John Van Beesbroek comes on to play the 3rd period. Van Beesbroek with a record of 0-3-0 against the Islanders this season. There's his record against the league and a 3.18. He's 3.69 against the Islanders. No wins, 3 losses, and no ties. And over the years, it's been tough. He shut the Islanders out twice, has a lifetime record of 16, 10, and 6. The 3rd period underway with Volek, Ferrero, and Fitzgerald together for the Islanders. Bernie Nichols at center for the Rangers. Gartner and Eriksson with him as the puck played into the Islanders zone is taken by Riki. Bounced it outside the line. Mark Hardy gives it to James Patrick. Now to Mike Gartner. Gartner, big slap shot right on. Healy, the save, covers any chance of a rebound with Eriksson bearing down on him.
James, what would you read into it, making that kind of a change when, I can't really say, I guess Richter was not the same Richter that maybe they're used to seeing, but still to pull him at this point in the hockey game.
I think it's just a message to the rest of the Rangers to pick up the tempo, to get more involved in the game. He didn't get the job done for Mike. See what you do for Johnny. I mean, he's coming in cold. Sutter and Kissio on the faceoff. Garno and King, the other forwards for the Islanders. The Islanders control the draw. Riki with it back of the net. Grodnick and Mullen out there with Kissio. Brent Sutter has given it to Joe Riki, to Ken Baumgartner. Right back to Riki off his skates to the Ranger line where David Shaw turned it over. Derek King put it back in the zone. King gets to it, went cross ice. Ogrodnik gets checked, and here's Dalgarno centering one, but play called, and Ogrodnik has been hurt.
He got a stick in the face, Jakes. Went down very heavily. Oh, look at the blood. Oh, I hope that isn't just the actions. I hate to see that. The stick came up right into his face. No question it's bleeding. I almost have to bet that the Islanders are going to get a 5-minute major. And maybe hope that it's a 2-2, but with all the blood, I don't think the referee saw it. It'll have to be one of the linesmen if they saw it.
Grodnick up, skating around, and going to the New York Ranger dressing room.
Well, you hear a lot of cheering when you got the announcement that Brad Dalgarno got 4 minutes for high sticking. I suppose on one side, Brad Dalgarno, if he gets 5, he's gone for the hockey game. But I believe because the referee didn't see it. Watch the stick here. See it come up, bang, right into the face of John Ogrodnik. What he's trying to do is lift up the arms of Ogrodnik, get him off the puck and try and steal it. But his stick missed the arms, caught him in the face. So the Islanders get a break. Dalgarno stays in the hockey game, but against the best power play, which has scored twice in this hockey game so far, the Islanders have their work cut out.
Bill Berg. David Volek up front. On defense, it's Riki and Nyland. Rangers, who are 2 for 6 thus far with a man advantage, don't get through center ice in the initial effort. And now Bernie Nichols slaps it in wide of Glenn Healy. He'll leave it for Nyland. Now Healy elects to play it himself. Got it back to the point. Here's Patrick into Turcotte. To Leach. Now to Patrick. Once more for Leach. Centered it off. Nichols with Riki right on him. The Islanders free the puck, and David Volek gets it out of the zone. Backhands it down into the Ranger territory. Van Beesbroek leaving it for Leach. Richter started the game. And Beesbroek in at the beginning of the 3rd period as Turcotte winds up for a shot that misses, bounces off the glass back toward the blue line, and Patrick sets up Leach. Fontaine and Sutter out there as Healy cuts it off behind the net. None of the Islanders able to get it. Now they do. Riki gets pulled down. There goes the power play. Mike Gartner heads for the penalty box again.
His 3rd penalty of the hockey game for Mike Gartner. It's so unusual. Roger Nielsen recognizes the fact that his team is not taking the smart route. They're taking dumb penalties, very unlike Gartner. There, reaches out, hooks Joe Riki. So that kills off some of the power play that the Rangers were enjoying.
Rangers go to Chicago. The Islanders stay here tomorrow at 5. It'll be the Pittsburgh Penguins visiting. Muller to Sorella, moved it up the boards, back for the Islanders. Greg Ludwig on to McBean's stick. He steps over the center ice stripe, pulls to the right, turns back at the Ranger line. Sets it up again. Wayne McBean carries it across the line, dropped it off for Ferrero. He can't move it in around Kissio in time to do anything. Here's Sorella. Joel Sorella into the Islanders zone, and the cross ice pass went to Randy Mueller. Trying to go back to the net with it. McBean was there, and he sends King up the left side. Now Ferrero takes over at center ice, up to the Ranger line. Plays it deeper away from Sorella. It's picked up by Ryan Mullen. Kelly Kissio, the Ranger captain, comes over the Islander line. Pulls up, then shoots one. Healy grabs it out of the air, bunts it up the right side, out of the reach of LaFontaine. Sorella puts it back toward the corner, and the Islanders take over again. A minute remaining in the penalty against the Rangers, and once Gartner sprung from the penalty box, they'll have a man advantage of just over a minute. We're on into the Islander zone here, led by Jody Hull. Back to the blue line to Shaw. His long shot was blocked, and Nylands brings LaFontaine on a breakaway. He catches up with it, comes in on Van Beesbrook, and scores!
What's a fellow to do? Roger Nielsen wondering. The speed of Pat LaFontaine. What a good pass coming out of the Islanders' end. What a nice play by Nyland. He held the puck in heavy traffic, then banked it off the boards. No one's going to catch that guy. Watch the move as he goes back to the forehand. He fooled John Van Beesbrook. The Islanders have a 2-goal lead. Pat LaFontaine, who opened the scoring in the hockey game, gives the Islanders their 5th.
There'll probably be a little criticism of Van Beesbrook not charging out of the net to play the puck or cover, and I don't think he was going to be able to get there, though.
I agree with you, Jiggs. I suppose, yes, somebody's going to write or somebody will say that he should have been heading out to try and get to the puck. But when you're looking at Pat LaFontaine, it's a little different story.
That goal with the teams at 5 aside, giving the Islanders a 5-3 lead. In 20 seconds, the Rangers will have a man advantage. Moving up with it is Tommy Fitzgerald. He unloads, hit the goal post. Wow, he pumped the post. The right side. Van Beesbrook's right, and the Rangers are back into the Islanders zone here with a cross-ice pass blocked in front by Healy. Up ahead down to Fitzgerald. Down left wing across the Ranger line. Reekie moves to the front of the net. Fitzgerald with a shot that's turned aside by Van Beesbrook. McDonough and Hull have been involved back in the Islanders zone. They're just both nicely back into the play. Now go to the respective players' benches as we watch Gartner come over the line, and Sutter stole the pass. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty time against Algarno, the second of a double minor being served here. Ryan Leach with a pass intended for Gartner. Tipped back to Leach, trying to cut in. Ludwig knocked him down. The puck loose. Leach back on his skates. Centers it in front. Gartner couldn't get it on the stick, and out comes Sutter. Pollock moves up. Turcotte drops back as they get over the line, and it's offside against the Islanders.
Just receiving word now that John Ogrodnik is being taken to the hospital. We'll hope that that's a precautionary measure when you get cut around the eye, particularly the way he got cut with the end of the stick, the point of the stick as the players call it. It's always dangerous near the eyes.
Yeah, we can only hope. The last time the two teams met, Ray Shepard lost with a knee injury. The report is that they'll examine the injury. Dakota got turned around, the shot went wide, and there's a penalty call coming. Slashing penalty against the New York Rangers, setting up an Islander power play here.
At one point, it was the Islanders not playing smart hockey. Now the Rangers have taken over that part of it. They're taking a lot of bad penalties now.
Look at Roger Nielsen back at the bench. The last Ranger point that they picked up. That tie, or the win actually, Roger went by Michel Bergeron. Bergeron coached 158 games to achieve 164 points, and as you see, 16 over 500. Roger has his team in better shape in fewer games, and there will be some that will say, well, yeah, but Bergeron didn't have some of the players that Roger Nielsen has had since joining the Ranger coaching staff. And that's true, I suppose.
The penalty as Mick Vukota turns. Look at this. Chop. The shot deflected just wide as Vukota. What a nice turnaround shot he made. So the Islanders get a power play.
This will be the 5th opportunity with the man advantage in the game. McBean and Nyland on the point. Sutter with LaFontaine and King up front, and the Rangers have cleared the zone. Janssens and Eriksson up front. Mark Hardy and James Patrick back on defense for the Rangers. Islanders 5, Rangers 3. Nyland with a feed for McBean. Shot it around behind the net. Van Beesbrook plays it to the left side. Pitching in is King to knock it loose. Mark Hardy recovers and slaps it down the ice. It got away from Healy. Comes to the right side for Janssens. Had to reach behind, and then McBean got to him. Puck deeper in the Islander zone. Nyland to LaFontaine. LaFontaine with a pair. King with a pair. Ray Ferrero with the other goal for the Islanders. And the Rangers, it's been Gartner, Turcotte, and Moeller. Rangers led 2-1 at the end of the first period. The Islanders came back to tie and then had a 4-3 lead when the second period ended. Now up 5-3 as LaFontaine feeds the right side to King. The Islanders with the man advantage here. LaFontaine wraps it around the boards. It comes back toward Nyland. But it's cleared out by Hull with a pass onto the stick of Turcotte. He uses McBean. Played it through him and also through Jody Hull. Brent Sutter takes it back in the Islander net. McBean to the right side, Nyland to the left as Sutter resets the play with a feed to Nyland. Gary Nyland over center, and he shoots it in. Van Beesbrook will stop it. He's given it to Randy Moeller. 22 seconds left in the Islander power play chance, and they'll start it again deep in their own end of the ice.
Almost appears as though the Islanders were trying to kill it off along with the Rangers. They don't seem to be that determined. That could be a mistake. Keep the determination level of where it is. The rest of it will take care of itself.
Here's a chance for LaFontaine, and Van Beesbrook got a piece of that. LaFontaine sets up Rieke at the right point. The pass is to Volek. Back to Dean Chenault, to David Volek. Volek with a drive. That just missed. The teams are at 6 aside again. Rieke puts it in deep. LaFontaine from back of the net. Out to Volek. Into the slot for Chenault. His shot is wide of the net. Van Beesbrook screened on the play. Ferrero took the feed out from one of the Rangers, and Volek chases a loose puck. Ferrero gets tripped up. Now David Volek out to Ray Ferrero. Moeller and Ferrero. Ferrero turns, plays it around behind the net. Van Beesbrook steps in front of LaFontaine, turned it toward the corner. There's Volek with a feed to LaFontaine. At LaFontaine holds it, puts it in front. Volek with a shot. He scores! A little show of emotion on the part of David Volek too, and it's a 6-3 Islander lead.
Good point, Jake. Something that you don't usually see David Volek do. He's getting into the Ranger-Islander matchups. Not that he hasn't before. Wow. The Islanders breaking things open. That's their 4th straight goal. David Volek. What a play by LaFontaine. What's he doing behind the net and in the corners? He spent a lot of time there in this hockey game. Perfect pass. Volek is a finisher. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. How about that? Look at the pass. A backhand pass. It was beautiful. It was flat, and he finished it. Is there any doubt?
I don't recall ever seeing that type of emotion from David Volek after any of his goals. This is number 22 on the season. And only a so-so sophomore year after a fine rookie season. It seems to be back on track, although he hadn't scored in some time. That goal is 22nd. It's the first in 9 games, including today. The Islanders a little more comfortable now, up 6-3. Jazowski, Vukota, and McDonough, the Islander forwards. The puck went to the side of the Ranger net. Sarcastic cheer for John Van Beesbrook, who just reached out and covered it. We still have 8 minutes and 25 seconds left in the third period.
Screen Sport. More choice. 333 laps of the Atlanta International Raceway make up the Motorcraft Quality Parts 500. Ironhead Earnhardt had his first win of the year there last season. Can he make it a double? Weekend Live on Sunday at 6 on Screen Sport, more choice. Rookie of the Year, Robert Gamez, holed this spectacular 7-iron shot for an eagle on the final hole, giving him a one-stroke win in last year's Nestle Invitational. Will anyone have such a spectacular answer to this year's $1 million question? Find out Weekend Live tomorrow night at 10:35 on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
Pro Box, Europe's weekly boxing show that hits you right between the eyes. And this week, a light welterweight contest as Tony McKenzie fights Zimbabwean King Zaka. Live on Tuesday at 8 on Screen Sport. More sport, more choice.
Tough sports demand tough equipment. Vic and Victoriaville are the names of the 90s, offering stylish protection for both the pros and the peewees. If you were a top NHL goalie always in the firing line, which stick would you choose? Victoriaville, the choice of those with every option. Join the decade's winning team by contacting your national distributor for details.
Are you a sports fan? Cash in on your sports knowledge and win £100. Call 0898 664 660 and test your knowledge. It's easy to win. That's 0898 664 660. Be a winner and call 0898 664 660. Call now. For Ireland, please call 03 000 12288.
Glenn Healy talking it over with Dean Chenault. Healy all but decapitated Bernie Nichols. He's been swinging his stick a lot in this hockey game. In the second period, you'll remember, he swung his stick so hard he knocked the goalpost off its moorings. Watch here. Zip. Nichols trying to field the puck. Nyland standing nearby. Referee now saying I had no choice. That stick come around. One, it was a little hard. Two, it was a little high.
Long chat with referee Rob Schick before the game today. Didn't get into any of the feelings that the coaching staff may have toward his abilities. Talking about landscaping and where he's been and where he's going. Looking toward the playoff assignments. The Islanders shorthanded. A nice play. Sutter clearing it up ahead. Here's LaFontaine over the line working on Leach. He bumps him. The stick came up a little, but everything's okay. And back with it is Mullen. Mullen playing it around the boards. Healy stops it. Plays it up the left side. Nobody there for the Islanders. James Patrick moves it in a little deeper. They get it back to the blue line. This is Millette. Tripped up by LaFontaine. Now Leach lets one go, and it's deflected wide of the net. LaFontaine gets pulled down by Millette. Play continues. James Patrick up the slot. Shoots he. The save, and there's no further play.
Another good job. The Islanders in big trouble. Pat LaFontaine laying down on the ice. A lot of ice time in the third period for LaFontaine. Now he's killing penalties, and Healy again controls the rebound. Take a look as LaFontaine, now he's working his way over. He gets spun around, knocked to the ice. Seems to take him a long time to get up. You see him trying to make a play towards Kissio. Look at how long. He's a very tired camper, LaFontaine, and Healy doing another good job holding off a rebound, stopping the play. The Islanders are making mistakes now, Jigs, that they didn't make in the early part of the hockey game.
Well, we mentioned earlier, Healy with a 2.95 goals against in games against the Rangers. Overall against the league, a 3.29. 3 wins, a loss, and a tie. Has played every game against the New York Rangers this season, and you just saw him make his 36th save of this game.
I suppose it's nitpicking to say that there were 28 seconds that he didn't play.
Yeah. Goaltending change, and he came back in. Nichols with the puck. To the blue line to Leach. Lets one go, and it's off somebody in front of the net, I believe, Gartner. And the Islanders are able to clear it out. Just over a minute to go in this power play for the New York Rangers. Nichols brings them over the line, dropped it to Turcotte. Into Nichols. Tried to center one, it hit McBean. Nichols comes out the opposite side. Wallach and McBean watching him. Nichols trying to get somebody open. Fake the shot, sets up Leach for a drive, and that's wide of the net. Nichols in after it. Turned it over to McBean. Got it to the line. Leach held it there. Smart play across to Turcotte. His centering pass hit Ludwig, and it's under his equipment and held.
Another fine sliding save by Craig Ludwig.
Roger, not a friendly look on his face right now.
One of the problems you run into as a penalty killer trying to work against the power play of the Rangers, and as we pointed out, they are the best in the league right now, is that they've got such good point men. And they've got James Patrick out there along with Leach, and they've got good scores down low, in around the net. So how do you divide it up? Generally, one, you can favor either the point men if you're in Calgary, or you favor the forwards down low if you're in Montreal. But here they've got both. That's what makes it very difficult to kill against.
Good point. Rangers get it back to the point here. That's Nichols to Leach. Now to Bernie Nichols. Nichols lets it go. It hit McDonough. Comes to the line. Nichols held it in, but Riki steps in front of the receiver. Gartner has cleared the zone. Rangers one more opportunity to get it into the zone. It comes back toward Gartner. Now to Turcotte. Turcotte centers. Gartner with a shot. The rebound. Nichols scores. Make it Patrick, rather, who came in late. And the goal is a power play goal for the Rangers. Their third of this game.
It was on the 5th shot they had on the power play, and it was a rebound. This one he couldn't do anything about as Healy, from point-blank range, made the save. Patrick slid all the way in from his point position. Here's the play. Into the skate, shot, rebound. Bang, into the net. The Islanders are still ahead by 2 with 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Watch Greg Patrick. He's in the top. James Patrick, I'm sorry. There's the rebound as he slides in, and it's in the net. So the Rangers with point men that can move in close. You saw Brian Leach twice go right in on Glenn Healy, and Healy beat him. That time Patrick moved in on the power play and popped in the rebound.
The 3 Islander wins over the Rangers this season have all been by 1 goal. And here's LaFontaine, but he's offside. Took the pass while around Hardy at the Ranger blue line.
Look at the grin on his face. He said, oh, wow, what an opportunity. It was a 2-line pass.
3 of the 4 Ranger goals have come on the power play. They've done nothing to damage their power play. In fact, they've no doubt improved their road record on the power play today. Their percentage was 18.8 coming into the game. A year ago, their power play finished 5th in the league at a 23.3.
Yeah, we haven't seen this in a long time. They're going to take a look at one of the sticks of the Islanders in hopes that it's illegal.
Boy, Roger pulling at all the stops, isn't he?
Can't tell right now whose stick it is. Is it UB McDonough's?
It might be David Volek's.
Is it? No? I'm trying to look along the bench to see who hasn't got a stick in his hand.
The guy on the ice without one is David. And that's why I kind of think it's his.
You're right. He's coming over. He wants a close-up look. Boy, what a smart play by the Rangers if they've got him. They're going to show both the captains. Watch Brent Sutter. We'll have to see what the actions are by Sutter. Oh, no, they're taking the stick out of the game, so it's a penalty. Philadelphia, for years, was famous for doing that.
18:01, the time of a stick infraction, an illegal stick being used by David Volek. So Roger avoids the fine. And he called for that measurement, and the stick been found to be legal.
John Van Beesbrook, he's going to get as close as he can without jeopardizing his net so he can get to the bench quickly.
We haven't mentioned the Islander crews yet, have we?
There's too much excitement in these hockey games.
Pat LaFontaine, Patrick Flatley, and Glenn Healy are going on it, and 3 of the former Islanders, Gillies, Nystrom, and Harris. Hartford Holidays Travel of Great Neck, Long Island has all the information. I'll give you a number if we get a play stoppage here. Rangers come through center ice. James Patrick in across the Islander line. Van Beesbrook has gone to the bench. The Islanders have the puck. Brent Sutter clears it out of the zone. The Islanders are shorthanded, so they may ice it here, remember.
Not always a bad move, I suppose, if you've got good penalty killers and a lot of confidence, so you can ice the puck when you're at the end of a hockey game.
And with the playoffs a month away, it's good to work on this, too. But Turcotte loses it, and McDonough backhands it out of the zone. It'll spin wide of the Ranger net. A minute and 15 seconds left in the third period. Here's James Patrick. Kissio couldn't handle the pass. Riki tried to shoot it toward an empty net. McDonough with it here. Hit the post. Now the rebound. That's blocked. What a play by Bernie Nichols to slide back.
What a tough play for Hubie McDonough.
And on the right side, Gartner with a drive. That hit the post behind Healy. Nyland can't control it back to the net. Kissio is unable to center it. And Joe Riki has cleared the zone.
What a lot of excitement from start to finish.
Rangers, one more rush here. Kissio at center ice got tripped up. He moved the puck to Gartner, and Sutter blocked his pass. Brett Sutter takes it back to the net. Played it around Randy Moeller. Aaron Turcotte and LaFontaine fight for it. Turcotte's shot is over the crossbar. Nichols holds it at the point. Sets up Brian Leach for a shot. That was blocked in front. They had Healy moving on the play. Now Leach holds it. Hits it in deeper. That's Nichols. Back to Leach. Leach finds an opening. Shoots. Just missed the net. Moeller with 11 seconds to go. Plays it toward the corner to Kissio. And it's cut off by Riki. Bangs it off the boards. Rangers go back. The Islanders are going to win 6-4.
What a tired cowboy Glenn Healy has to be. He was down on the ice a moment ago. He could hardly get up. Ray Ferraro with a timely goal. An outstanding game for the Islanders. Some big mistakes in the third period by Roger Nielsen's New York Rangers.
Boy, did they dominate. When you'd see the shots on goal later on, you're going to say, really? The Islanders outscored them 2-1 in the third period. After trailing 2-1 at the end of the first, the Islanders came back to lead 4-3 at the end of the second. Goals by LaFontaine and Volek here in the third. Patrick got the Rangers close on a power play goal, but your final score is the New York Islanders 6, the New York Rangers 4.
So a big upset win there for the Islanders, and they keep their hopes alive, albeit only just. Now let's check out what's been going on around the rest of the league. And in the Norris division, St. Louis and Chicago are now well clear of the pack. Chicago have been going very well in the last few weeks, despite losing their 7-game home winning streak to one of the league's in-form teams, Montreal. Minnesota took a big step towards the playoffs as well. They demolished Edmonton. With the top 4 from each division making the playoffs, the in-form Minnesota North Stars should be there unless Toronto find a big winning streak. In the Smythe division, the title race is really hotting up. 2 points separating Los Angeles from Calgary. With both teams playing well, it should be a fascinating finish. And Los Angeles recorded their 7th consecutive win against Winnipeg. However, the third period was soured by constant fighting, and 153 penalty minutes were handed out in this period alone. The Flames are also hot. They picked up their 15th consecutive home win against Montreal, but they needed overtime to do it. The 4th playoff place in the Smythe division, it looks like it's going to be a fight to the finish, with Winnipeg and Vancouver slugging it out. In the Patrick division, the New York Rangers have reached the 60-point mark, and they did so by beating the 3rd place team, Philadelphia. The final score, a comprehensive win then for the Rangers. The bottom two teams met in Washington this week, with the Islanders' playoff hopes being seriously damaged when they surrendered a 2-goal lead to lose 3-2. Michael Pivonka scored the winning goal for Washington in the third period, and the Caps now draw level with New Jersey. This one's wide open. In the Adams division, Boston, having collected a point against St. Louis earlier, now lead the Adams division by 6 over Montreal. However, the Canadians could yet catch Boston with 7 of their last 11 games at home, and they're certainly beginning to hit good form, as Edmonton discovered. Gretzky continues to lead the goal scorers table, and he should stay there unless Brett Hull does something really sensational. Lower down the order, Adam Oates looks set to become the second St. Louis player to top the ton. He needs 2 more points. The goal minders table has a very familiar look to it, with rookie Ed Belfour maintaining his place at the head of affairs. But for now, we leave you with some of the action from Uniondale, where the New York Islanders beat the Rangers by a score of 6-4.
Just a reminder that there's unrivaled NHL coverage right through to the Stanley Cup in May here on Screen Sport. We'll have another game for you tonight at 10:30, and then tomorrow...
Stopping play in the first minute of play of the second period.
Yager's going to be a great one, isn't he, when he gets accustomed to playing in this league? He's got so much skill out there, and he even looks a lot like Mario Lemieux when you watch him on the ice, just with his profile and the way that he handles the puck.
Here's some good rugged defense.
Almost got 2 there.
Randy Hillier went down low to make the play on Corson. Penguins sent out Ron Francis with Brecky and Bork against Carbonneau, Courtnall, and McPhee. J.J. Daniel passed the puck into the skates of Bill Bork. Schneider, pressured by Recchi, got away up the middle to Courtnall. He scampers to center, drops the puck off. McPhee shoots, deflected just wide. Daniel centered wildly.
The proceeding has been a special presentation of ICENET, the Islanders Championship Entertainment Network.
Coverage you can find. At National Security Brokerage, our clients are #1, and we promise you will always get the very best coverage tailored for your needs. We understand living on Long Island because we do too. We're all Islanders, and if you want Long Island's best team for insurance, go for National Security Brokerage. You'll feel secure with National Security Brokerage. Let's go Islanders!